There we go. And now that we're in the shade, why don't you go raise your two left side windows? I had them down just to get some air movement, but I don't want to get dust in. Thank you. Now, new for 2013, we've added 3 new systems to improve off-road performance. So the first is what we call a multi-speed crawl control. And this combines both a hill ascent control and a hill descent control. So you drove some of these other cars today and you experienced their hill descent control, right?
Yes.
Okay. The difference here is we work uphill and downhill. We also work in reverse, uphill and downhill. So if you have to back up a hill or back down a hill, you get the benefit of a controlled speed. So that's new. Also related to that is an automatic terrain select. And the terrain select automatically distinguishes between loose gravel, hard rock, or really slippery mud, snow, and ice. And it automatically changes the way the traction control and stability control systems work based on those different surfaces. Okay?
But you said that's automatic in this?
It's automatic. We call it multi-terrain select. So it's working right now, and it's telling you that it detects that this is a rock trail. Do you see that in the multi-information display in the middle? It says rock at the top?
Yes.
Okay.
I do see that, yes.
So it can tell what the surface friction is based on how much wheel slip it detects when you're driving. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So we have crawl control, we have multi-terrain select, and then the third system that's new this year on the LX570 is an active rear steering to help you avoid having to do 3-point turns on those really tight switchbacks. And you'll experience that on this trail. You've seen those switchbacks where you had to do a 3-point turn?
Yes, with some vehicles.
Yeah, we may not have to do those with this vehicle if we get our entry just right.
So how much do the rear wheels turn?
Not a bit.
What?
Not a bit. The way we do active rear steering is we lock up the inside tire and we overdrive the outside tire and we power steer around the corner. But only at low range and only when you're in low speed crawl control. So it doesn't work in parking lots, it only works off-road. And that way we add no complexity to the chassis, right? We're not adding steering linkages or pivots.
Right.
So this is a pretty tight corner and this is a pretty big vehicle. But we've got a pretty natural tight turning radius for as big as this vehicle is. So there, you weren't getting the benefit of rear steering. We're going to go to the right here, up the red trail.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Yep. I'm just letting them know.
Oh.
And when you get on this level area, we're going to stop for just a minute right here. And I'll have you engage the low speed crawl control. So just after the shift lever, you see an on-off button with a vehicle on a hill. You see that little button? Right behind the shift lever. Nope, to the left, on off. Right there.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's what I've said.
So press that, and this is your 5 speeds of control. So you can see we're in high right now, then there's a medium and low. Let's try this ascent in high speed and see what high speed crawl control does for you. So it'll work when you take your feet off all the pedals.
It'll do it.
It'll do it automatically. Start crawling at high speed. So that's highest speed for crawl control.
Right, which is still...
If you want to overdrive it, you can give it a little bit of gas.
Yes.
If you decide you want to stop, you can always hit the brakes and stop, but when you let go of either pedal, it automatically resumes its operation. That makes sense?
Yes.
We've got a fisheye camera in the front that allows you to see, even though you and I see nothing but blue sky, you can see the trail, you can tell it's clear, you can even see which way it goes. Same thing here going off the edge. Once we get to the edge, you and I will not be able to see the trail at all, but you can look down here to confirm which way it's going. And if that speed is too fast for you, you can click it down 1 notch.
Although it isn't too fast.
It's not really that fast.
No.
And I'll show you one other thing. See this camera view on the right? That's a camera under the mirror, and the blue lines show you how wide the mirror sticks out. Now this hill's a little steep, so let's go down 1 click. So pull it down 1 notch. That's it. ice water and iced tea?
Not right now.
I got a refrigerator here in the center console.
Yes. That's standard too.
It is.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
Here it gets a little steeper. So let's go down to the medium position. And what it's doing that you and I can't do is it's actually applying individual wheel brakes only when needed. You know, you and I, if we hit the brake pedal, we're going to apply pressure to all four wheels, including ones that have no traction. So,
Right.
so this system, you know, has intelligence and capabilities that we simply can't access through our foot on the brake pedal. And once it levels out, it doesn't have to work so hard. And of course, it also takes over control of the transmission. So it's also using engine braking to slow us down. It's probably in first or second gear right now. You know what I mean? So you could leave the shift lever and drive, or like you have in fourth, but it may not actually be in fourth gear right now.
Right. Yeah, so the computer controls it all.
That's right. So now once it levels out, crank it up to the highest speed. So even climbing the hill, you see it's still applying some brakes when a wheel slips or spins. And now when it levels out, you can give it a little bit of gas if you choose to drive a little faster on your own. The system remains engaged even though it becomes inactive once you touch a pedal. That make sense?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, these systems make these vehicles a lot more usable for people who maybe otherwise wouldn't be so comfortable.
Yes. I think that's the key, is that they can add confidence to a driver who might not have a lot of experience under these kind of conditions.
And even if you have experience, it minimizes the workload an awful lot.
Exactly. That's a real key, I think, that is nice to appreciate.
Because since even the fastest speed, when that's engaged, is pretty slow,
Yeah.
people are going to be doing what I'm doing, maybe, and giving it some
That's right.
gas. When
Yeah. Right. No, now this next section is fairly smooth and flat, so you can just use the accelerator and drive a little faster if you wish to. But just bear in mind it's kind of narrow, so I don't want to get any brush stripes. Unlike most of the other cars here, this is actually not a PR car. I'm not a PR guy. I'm a training guy. And so my fleet manager promised me he would kill me if I bring this back with any scratches in the paint, because he has to sell this when we're done using it. So I'm trying to honor his wishes. Now, you remember down at the end here is one of these sharp switchbacks, right?
Yes.
So before we get there, we're going to engage the active rear steering. And that's a button just to the right of that crawl control on-off switch. So if you want to go ahead and stop so you can take a look at it. So see the button to the right of the on-off? That's your rear steer button.
This one.
That one. Go ahead and press that. That's it. And you'll see a green indication near the 7 on the tachometer.
Yes,
that
I
matches
see.
the button. So now what'll happen is anytime you do a full lock turn and crawl control is engaged. Anytime you do a full lock turn, crawl control is engaged, we'll get the benefit of this rear steering. So kind of just stay a little to the right here.
Yeah, I know.
And shoot right towards the rocks and turn in as late as you can. Right there. Oh, that's easy. That'll totally do it. And you're going to feel right here, it's going to push the rear end around. You feel that?
Yes.
There. So
Yes.
it actually is kind of a mini version of a power steer. Now that Jeep behind us is going to have to do a 5-point turn on that corner. And he's not any longer than this is. And right there, it did a little bit of, did you feel that? It almost feels like the rear end slipped around the corner. And it's simply because when you're at a high rate of lock, it can drag that inside tire, overpower the outside tire, and push around the corner. Now this is the toughest one, but about half the people have been able to make it through it on a single sweep. So let's try it. I'm thinking turn in right about now.
Yeah.
Let's try that. And just drive it around.
Yeah, I've done this in a few cars. Some I've made it, some I haven't. When I haven't made it, I waited a little too late to turn.
Yep, you got it. You made it. Look at that.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing the other vehicles that did that turn are not as big as this one.
Yeah, most of the, right. Most.
I mean, this is a full 3-row, full-size V8 SUV. So that's one of the benefits. So those are the three systems: the crawl control, the multi-terrain, and the rear steer that are just all new for this car for 2013.
That's what's so impressive about what keeps happening with what's coming out in the vehicles.
Right.
Very nice, sophisticated systems which do make things a lot easier.
Yeah.
Now, those are the brakes going on and off?
Yes. So it's cycling individual wheel brakes. You're hearing it a lot because all of the solenoids are on the master cylinder, which is right in front of you on the firewall. So you get those resonances through the firewall. Now at this point, let's turn off the crawl control and we'll do the rest of the drive just with foot control. So now it's off.
Okay.
So now you're gonna have to downshift a couple more gears. That's 3, down, there's 2. Leave it in 2 and let's see how that does. If you find that you're dragging the brakes a lot, that's a hint to downshift to 1.
I'll downshift to 1 here.
Yeah.
Avoid that big hole there.
I go right through it. So we'll go all the way over to the red. Man, it's a big mess of crows or ravens or whatever.
Right.
I guess
There's
they're
something
crows.
they like around here.
Well, I think
The
it's
water?
those trash dumpsters.
Oh, they try. Yeah, I guess.
Because I saw them earlier fighting with a seagull over the trash dumpsters. Seagull had a hell of a commute. So this is a tight turn, but we'll do this without the active rear steer, and you'll see it still has no trouble making it around this tight radius. So that's kind of all the goods on the new LX, and this,
It's got a lot of goods.
yeah, this trail they picked is just perfect to show them all off.
Yeah, I think this is a good trail in terms of it's got a nice mix of stuff. Even it's not a real long distance, but it's enough to see what the vehicles can do.
Yep.
So I'll just tuck it in here.
Yeah, just sweep around here and press on the left. Yep. There you go.
So is there a Maroni?
There isn't, but they come kind of only equipped one way. They're all about $90,000. So it's just kind of all the goods, all one way, all the time.